Hey you guys, welcome back to another episode of Auto Amateur. In this video, I'm continuing the journey of modifying my 991, just styling it exactly to my tastes. And I've got a lot of some very nice leather covered trim with red deviated stitching. Let's go check it out. So for those of you who've been following my channel for a while, you know that I like to modify my cars. I like to tinker, I like to do some mechanical work, I like to do some styling work, interior, exterior, and right now we're talking about interior style updates. I've done a few already. I've got red seat belts, which contrast nicely with my black interior. I have carbon fiber trim, love it or hate it. I'm one of the guys that loves carbon fiber. I've got that sort of all over my cabin. And now I'm moving on to the basic plastic leather, the pleather interior that comes with the standard interior with the 911s. And trying to add pieces of leather to make it look nicer, but also to change just the boring black on black. So I've got the red seat belts. I've already got one or two pieces in the car, which are black leather with red deviated stitching. My steering wheel, actually, which I just had refurbished from Craft Customs down in Texas. They did an absolutely fantastic job, Carter and the crew there. And it was really the steering wheel that sort of spurred me on to think about additional trim pieces for the interior of my car. Now, I haven't gone full-blown leather front to back. It's a very expensive proposition, of course. But what I did find recently on eBay, of all places, was some factory Porsche parts from a salvage, from a wrecked car. Pretty much the entire interior was up for grabs. So I've managed to get hold of some speaker grills, some dashboard end caps, this sports chrono housing, the door sills, and a steering wheel column shroud, the casing around the steering wheel. So in this video today, I'm going to be installing all of those parts. The big question, of course, is how much does all of this cost? Well, if you look at places online like Exclusive Option, which do factory quality Porsche parts in whatever leather you want and whatever deviated stitching you want, you pay one sort of price. If you get salvage parts, you can usually get them a lot cheaper, but you're rolling the dice probably a little bit with quality. These pieces are absolutely immaculate, thankfully. So whomever had an accident in their GT3, I'm sorry. And I'm also feeling a little bad for completely benefiting off your misfortune. But you know, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Now, this, as an example, this piece would run you $700 or $800 brand new if you were to get it from somewhere like Exclusive Option. Probably more if you were to order it special from Porsche. Online on eBay, you can find these sort of parts for $400, $450 if you're lucky. And that kind of goes for all of the interior trim pieces. They are all sort of running around anywhere from sort of $400 to $800 each. And again, if you buy them salvage, you're probably going to get them 20 or 30% less than if you were going to buy them brand new. But you have to really keep an eye on what you're buying and ask for high resolution photos and all that sort of stuff. So without further ado, let's get these installed. And then we're going to talk about what else I've got planned, because there are potentially some other interior pieces that are coming which are bigger than this. going to start off with my favorite piece of trim on the interior, and that is the Sports Chrono housing. I think for the 991, they absolutely nailed it. For the 997, the Sports Chrono sort of didn't quite look integrated into the dash. It was just sort of plopped and sat on the top. And with the 992, it almost sits up too high and too proud. This sort of goes into the dash a little bit. It sits down, it's recessed. You know, if you turn it to the side, you can see only about half of the device is actually above the line. So I think this looks really sweet. Now, taking this out is relatively straightforward. You saw in the video just now, I used a trim removal tool to basically go underneath the edge and pry around there to release the clips. There are 6 clips altogether, 2 at the back, 2 in the middle, and 2 at the front. The 2 at the front are relatively easy to pop out. The ones in the middle are pretty easy as well. This is the one at the back by the windscreen. You actually have the least amount of leverage there. So they're usually the ones that I pop off last. But I can usually get the middle or one of the front ones out first and then just carefully work my way around. Once you pop it off, you've got a wiring, got a wire to remove here from the back of the clock, and you also have the light sensor to just pop out of the mechanism there. Now, I'm gonna swap these 2 pieces of trim over, obviously. My lovely red clock is gonna be in here. Now, I've been wondering what to do. Do I just leave the leather on the top here, or do I put my OEM carbon fiber clock hood on top of here? I think I'm going to move the carbon fiber over, and that's also quite interesting to just show you how that works. Essentially, let's show you on this other version. Essentially, there are just 2 screws here, which I think are T8 potentially. Maybe T5. I'll find out in a second. But essentially, those 2 screws come off, and then you can pull this forward, and then you just pop the other one back on. And in terms of removing the clock itself, you've got 2, I think these are T12 or T15 screws. Those 2 screws there simply hold the clock in place. So it's that simple to get this swapped in and out. So to take the door sills off, it's really easy. There's basically 2 clips here, 1 clip here, and 2 clips here. And you don't even really need a trim tool.
you can just pull your fingers underneath, put your fingers underneath and just pull it out. And then there's one wiring harness there to unplug. Super simple and exactly the same on the other side. Now, to take the shroud off the steering wheel column, again, it's relatively straightforward. There's one piece here which is connected to the instrument cluster. You just need to pop this up with a flathead screwdriver or a trim tool. This plastic piece on the top just pops off. It actually just clips into the bottom of the shelf. I might need to relocate these microphones into the new piece of plastic you see here. And the, two wires there that clip into the wiring harnesses. And then the base of the shroud itself, there are 2 T20 screws underneath, and then there are 2 T20 screws on either side of the steering wheel that if you were to just move the steering wheel around to 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock, you can get access to here. So you don't actually need to take the steering wheel off to play around with the steering wheel shroud. What you do need to do is just make sure that your steering wheel's all the way out, and then that gives you more access to play with. But almost there. Really looking forward to seeing how all this goes. You can see here I've got my red seat belts, got the center console, got a couple of things on the dash now, and now the side sills, and now I just need to get this baby on and we're good to go.
So that's it for another video, guys. What do you think? Do you like how the new trim makes the interior look? I think it gives it a much more sort of personal kind of feeling. It's much more personal and individualized to myself. Now, what's next? Well, I may have got my hands on a pair of the 18-way sports seats with the higher, the bigger upper bolsters for the cooled and for heated, so vented and heated seats, black with red deviated stitching, and maybe the Porsche crest in the headrest. I've got a line on them. I haven't locked down a price yet. I haven't committed to them, but it's potentially something I can get my hands on. And then I've also found the actual full dashboard. So it doesn't come with the glove box. I'd need to buy that separately. but it does come with the instrument surround and everything on the top of the dashboard. And again, that's black leather with red deviated stitching. So there are two things potentially I'm gonna add into the car. Having said that, I'm gonna try and live with these trim pieces for now for a couple of weeks and see if I think it's enough. You know, I don't wanna go too far. And I think like as far as carbon fiber is concerned, I've gone as far as I'm gonna go with carbon fiber. Probably. I did find a carbon fiber hood on eBay. No, let's not go there. But I do really like the idea of the seats. The deviated stitching on the seats with the dashboard and all these other pieces. There's no stopping, is there? There's no stopping. Anyway, thanks for checking in. Another DIY video. Driving videos coming soon. I'm really excited to announce, if you haven't heard already from Instagram or my podcast, I'm going to be going to Checked It Out Chicago in the middle of August, a Porsche event there. I'm actually going to be, my car's actually going to be on display at that event. Jay from the Jay Reed YouTube channel is going to be there as well. We both managed to get in last minute. We're going to be going to Luft, which is in Indianapolis on the 10th of September, I think it is. It's a Friday. And then there's a Porsche event there at the Indianapolis Speedway on the Saturday, Sunday. So a couple of driving events there. And then we're about 8 weeks away from our return to the Tail of the Dragon. Both Jay and I are going to be hosting 3 car events and 1 social from the 1st of October through to the 3rd. So pretty much Friday morning, Saturday morning, Sunday morning, there'll be a car meet at a different location in and around the Smoky Mountains and Tail of the Dragon, and a different 100-mile kind of loop through some of the great driving roads there. And then on the Saturday night in Bryson City, we're going to be doing an outdoor social. So if you're interested, we're booked, we're committed. We've got our Airbnb, we are going. You are more than welcome to come. We've got somebody driving in from Toronto, if the border's open. We've got somebody coming in from Washington State, LA, someone in from Nevada. We've got folks coming in from the deep South. I mean, people are coming all over the country, even though there may only be a dozen or maybe 2 dozen of us. But people are coming from all corners of the continent to come to this event. It's so exciting. So if you want to make it, rock up in your P car and we're going to do some driving together. You can find out all the information from autoamateur.com. And that's it. Great. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing and all your support. Keep hitting the like and most importantly, keep hitting up the comments. That's my favorite part about doing these videos. All right, guys, take care. Bye.